learn about blood vessels. So we learned about blood. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. Blood flows through the pipe-like or tube-like structures called blood vessels. Okay, the blood vessels help in carrying the blood through them. The blood passes or flows through the tube or pipe-like structure which are spread throughout our body. Like it is branched out. We have, the blood vessels are broken into several branches so that blood can reach each and every cells in our body, right? When I say cell, you should know it will reach all the organs, and organs are made up of cells. So the blood, the function of blood to carry the nutrients, oxygen, everything, right? So it has to reach each and every cell, and that is done by the blood vessels. There are 3 different types of blood vessels are present in our body. So let us see which are the 3 different types of blood vessels. They are arteries, veins and capillaries. Okay. So in our body we have 3 different types of blood vessels. They are arteries, veins and capillaries. Okay. So let us learn about the first one, arteries. Arteries are thick blood vessels. They are thick blood vessels. It is thick walled. Okay, thick walled blood vessel. Okay, so they are thick and elastic in nature. So blood vessel, that is whether it is artery or vein, they are elastic because the blood has to flow through them. Through the blood vessel. So the blood vessel has to contract and relax. It has to contract and it has to expand. Only then the blood is pushed forward. Okay, that's why both veins as well as arteries will be made up of elastic muscle. Okay, so it is thick walled and made up of elastic muscle. Okay, then arteries do not have valves. It does not have valves. So I'll tell you what are valves. Valves they are like gates or shutters. Okay, so they are like we have gates, right? So why we have gates in our compound? We keep gates, right? Because it will prevent, right? It will prevent entry of any strangers or dogs like that. So here the arteries do not have valves, but veins have valves. Valves actually prevents backward flow of blood. It prevents backward flow of blood. Okay, this you remember. Okay, so it prevents the backward flow of blood. So once blood enters the blood vessel, it should not come back. So as the blood goes forward, the valves will close it, right? So it will not allow the blood to come back. Okay, but valves are not present in arteries. In arteries, valves are absent, and arteries are deep-seated. Deep-seated means like we cannot see arteries. Only here we can see the artery, right? One of the major artery is there, right? Usually people say this as nara, right? Nara is nerve. Okay, so nerve is different, blood vessel is different. Okay, so whatever we can see, it is blood vessel. Here now you can see the blood vessel, the greenish color. That is actually blood vessel. We cannot see nerves. Okay, right? So now, we have blood vessel, that is arteries, is deep seated. Like whenever you get a cut, like it starts bleeding. Actually, it's not the artery which is cut. It is the vein. Okay, so it is actually deep seated. So arteries are deep seated. All these are extra information. You just learn. Let us see the function now. So what is the function of artery? arteries. Arteries carry the blood from the heart to different parts. In a textbook, they are given arteries carry the oxygenated blood. No, arteries can carry oxygenated blood or deoxygenated blood, because we have an artery which will carry the deoxygenated blood. So we are just going to say arteries carry, arteries, function of artery, it carry blood from the heart, blood from the heart to different parts of our body. From the heart to different parts of the body. So this is the function of arteries. Arteries carry the blood away from the heart, not to the heart. From the heart, it is take the blood to different parts. So this is the function of arteries. So you should remember this. So that is arteries. Now let us see the veins. Let us learn about veins. So when we see veins, it is another type of, the next type of blood vessel. It is thick, it is thin walled. Arteries, thick walled. Veins, thin walled. And they are also made up of elastic muscle, because again when the blood is flowing through the veins, it is by contracting and expanding. Okay, but here coming to veins, veins have valves. Veins have valves. I told you valves prevent the backward flow of blood, and it is not deep seated, it is superficial. It is superficial. Superficial means what? It is present on the surface. Like when you cut, while cutting some vegetable or fruit or something, you get a cut, right? And it starts bleeding. Actually, it is the blood vessel, that is vein, which gets cut. Okay. So you can see that we can make out whether it is vein or the arteries, which is cut by the way the blood does, by the way it bleeds. Okay. So usually veins only will be cut. We will be learning how to make out whether it is vein or the arteries which is cut in the when you come to higher classes. So it is present superficially. Okay, coming to the function of vein, it carry the blood from different parts. From different parts of the body, different parts of the body to the heart. Okay, different parts of the body to the heart. Okay, see, when we learned about the arteries always carry the blood from the heart to different parts, whereas vein will carry the blood from different parts of the body to the heart. So that's the difference between vein and the arteries, right? Veins are thin walled, they have valves, okay, and they are superficial, that is, they are present on the surface only, they are not deep seated. And coming to the function, they carry the blood from the different parts of the body to the heart. Okay, so that's about vein. Now we have learned one more type of blood vessel, that is capillaries. That is capillaries. So let us see what are capillaries. So capillaries are very, very minute blood vessel. It is minute blood vessel. Don't read it as minute, you read it as minute. Minute means very small, so small that we cannot see capillaries with our naked eyes. It is only one cell thickness. Okay, capillaries are only one cell thickness. Can we see a cell? No, we cannot see a cell with our naked eyes. Only through the microscope we can see. That is through a compound microscope or electron microscope only we can see. So the capillaries are very, very minute blood vessel. function. The function of capillary, it helps in the exchange of nutrients, or you can say materials. I told you what is materials here. Nutrients or the respiratory gases between the cells and the blood. So that's the function of capillaries. I hope you understood the three different types of blood vessels, that is arteries, veins and capillaries. Okay. Now I'll give you the questions. Okay. Write the answers and learn for your coming test. Okay. So what is the question for you? Name the different types of blood vessel. Name the different types of blood vessels. Blood vessels. Then write the differences between arteries and veins. Okay. And third one, write the function of capillaries. Function of capillaries. Write the function of valves. Okay. So these are the questions which you have to learn. For you see, when you go to doctor, when you have fever, they check your pulse rate, right? They keep their stethoscope on your wrist, or they just hold their finger on the wrist region and they count, right? What is that? That is called pulse. So what is pulse? When the blood flows through the arteries, it causes a throbbing movement. Throbbing means the rhythmic movement. Due to the contraction and relaxation of the arteries, it causes a wave-like movement. This wave-like movement is called pulse. The throbbing movement, the rhythmic movement caused due to the blood flowing in the arteries is called pulse. Okay, there is an activity given in your textbook. Just try to do it, and you can see the pulse rate. You can see, find out the pulse region. It is just below your thumb, in the wrist region. You can just take this 3 finger and hold like this and press on the arteries. You can feel that throbbing movement, the rhythmic movement. That rhythmic movement is caused when the blood flows through the arteries, not through the vein. When the blood flows through the arteries, it will cause a rhythmic movement that is called pulse. The pulse rate, the number of pulse rate is always equal to the heart rate. You know very well, our heart will beat 72 times per minute, right? Always the pulse rate is equal to our heart rate. The number of beats per minute is called pulse rate, which is always between 72 and 80 beats per minute in a person who is resting, okay, who is not involved in any activities or any exercise. The pulse rate will be between 72 or 80 beats per minute. That's about pulse. Okay, next we'll be learning about heart, the structure of heart and the functioning